Hey guys, Chris again from GTM Pioneers. Welcome back in our second episode of our short series Simplify and Master Go to Market. Today we are diving into the go to market maturity curve and exploring why the self assessment audit is essential to building an effective go to market strategy and how to use it. I would love to jump in directly in the go to market strategy framework, but without an audit, it's nearly impossible to craft a strategy. And without understanding the maturity curve, the logic behind the audit won't be clear. So, therefore, let's start by breaking down the go to market maturity curve. And afterwards, let's jump in the self assessment audit. All right. The go-to-market maturity curve we use here is adapted from the book Move the Four Questions Go-to-Market Framework by Sangram and Brian. Hi, guys. In this curve, we see three key stages: ideation, the transition, and the execution stage. And each of the stages has its own goal. So for ideation, it's reaching problem market fit and especially reaching product market fit to go afterwards in transition stage. So what does it mean? You have problem market fit in this stage, and you want to build a system, a go-to-market engine that allows you to grow faster. That means you have a repeatable revenue engine, and that means that you have product market fit. That's the point when you can move over to the transition stage. And once you're on the transition stage, then all of the operations, the customer journey, and all the stuff you're doing in your go-to-market engine has to evolve and has to develop into the readiness of being ready to grow sustainable with your product market fit. And then next stage, you want to go up to platform market fit. That means you want to grow with your customer base and with your target accounts through upsellings, cross-sellings, and all the stuff that you have multiple predictable product market fits. And once you have this, even though you can go to the execution stage and you want to develop and evolve your go-to-market engine up to the level that you can scale with it as well. So probably last point here, it's again problem market fit, product market fit, and platform market fit. So a lot of fits. I think we all know even the problem solution fit. I've heard a lot of time now go to market fit. I think there are tons of fits out there. I don't want to say that's the only way how to think about it, but for me personally, this framework of the book is super clear. It's very straightforward and super actionable. So therefore, let's stick with it and use it. Good. Then let's go in detail in the stages. Start with stage one, the ideation stage. So the ideation stage begins when you start seeing some initial revenue. So hopefully upfront you've made some or a lot of interviews to make sure that you have problem solution fit, that there is definitely a market that is interested in getting the problem solved. And now you go up to this initial revenue, even though you don't have a clear ICP slash ideal customer profile. And that's very important here. Most of the time, you don't have this ICP as you don't have enough data. But even though you think you have this ICP because I was super clear by the first 50 interviews, you don't have the clarity about it. So that's two big mistakes that we see here very often. Either to say, we have it because I know it, but you can be wrong. So therefore, don't say you have a clear picture of your ICP, as the probability that you are not right is too high. Or people that say, I can't start without an ICP. Both things are wrong. In this stage, we don't want to have an ICP. We want to figure it out. What we do is we focus and test with the broader market. So let's say our total addressable market. And we just point some initial customer profiles out of it to figure out, okay, what works best. And this initial customer profiles can differentiate by market, industry, size, you name it. And that's obviously based on your gut feeling where you would say that's the highest probability where we can make money. But please don't stick on just one ICP because you can't know it yet. All right. As you move through this stage, you will gradually form a clearer picture of your target audience, obviously, but you are likely still relying heavily on referrals, network, on off sales channels. So none of them are growable or scalable. Additionally, when we go one step deeper, you will mostly acting very reactively. You are focusing on leads over accounts, and you're expanding ad hoc. And that's not wrong. It's just part of the game at this stage. You you will get opportunities by conversation with your customers. Okay, jump on it because probably you haven't known it upfront. And with these opportunities, you can see, do we have to pivot? Do we have to adapt? Do we have to adjust something in the customer journey or an offering or in the messaging or in the positioning? And that doesn't mean that you should defocus yourself. It's more about what is really necessary to find this repeatability and predictability with my current product or service. At this stage, most of the time, sales is usually founder-led, so founder-driven, and that's very important. That's even though one of the mistakes we see too often. Okay, now we have some money. I don't want to do the sales job anymore. I hire a director sales, a head of sales at this stage. You don't have any predictability and repeatability in your system. You can't have the playbooks yet. So it's definitely too early to hire sales reps, growth managers, marketers, you name it. Good. To move beyond this stage, you will need to define a total relevant market and narrow in on a single ICP. We just won with a clear intent signal or clear intent signals. So once you have this, plus a repeatable channel for acquiring new customers, you have reached product market fit. That's the definition of product market fit. Repeatable sales engine or revenue engine, and this for just one ICP. Once you have this, you can move to the next stage, to the transition stage. And yeah, the second stage is now the one we will dive in. Good. Stage 2, transition. In the transition stage, you're building a more major customer journey and focusing only on ICPs with strong intent signals, obviously. That was the goal of the first stage, to figure out when should I go in contact with the right customer or buyer. You're starting to shift from reactive sales to a proactive sales, and from a lead focused approach to an account focused approach. And that's super important because that's the way how you can align your entire go-to-market team more effectively. So you have a clear customer journey, you know when to do what in most of the cases, as you have already data from the first stage, to make sure that you attract the potential customers at the right moment with the right message over the right channel, and even though to make them through their journey satisfied on a level that they will stay with you as a customer. This is also where we often see companies get tripped up, because common pitfalls include chasing too many channels, mistaking revenue growth for product market fit without confirming repeatability and predictability, and hiring too quickly without establishing foundational playbooks and processes. So that's very important. Even though you have figured out that I have a channel, I have a message, I have a clear ICP, and the offering works, when I double the effort, then I will double even the revenue. Doesn't mean that your go-to-market engine is ready. So therefore, you need to build processes, playbooks, all the workflows, the sequences, the messaging has to become adjusted, and all the stuff. So just hire once you are major enough, not just from, let's say, top level of your business, even though really from internally. And obviously sometimes you need to hire people that have the skill set to become more major as a go-to-market engine. But that's very important, not just to say, okay, now we have it, let's go all in and now we can scale. You are just in the transition stage. So that means you are growable, but not scalable at this point. Good. In transition, you should have one repeatable, scalable channel. That's the main thing. So that's, even though what I've framed here with the pitfalls, what I see too often. Okay, what worked now with outreach? Let's do it even though with social. And okay, we have clear messaging. Let's do performance marketing as well. We go on SEA, we do paid ads, X, Y, Z. That doesn't work most of the time. Why? Because it's defocusing. one by one by one. Stay focused. And if you have this one channel that is repeatable and scalable, grow just with this channel up to the point that you have a go-to-market engine that is major enough to do it, let's say, with one click, and then to go on the next channel to figure out what could be the second channel to have the same repeatability, or the second market, or probably even though a different product cohort or a different customer cohort. But first of all, be ready to grow sustainable here. So then to reach the execution stage, you need to replicate this predictability across at least, I always say, at least two products, two ICPs, two markets. I don't say it has to be all of them, but obviously we need to have a multiple approach, because that's the only way how we can expand with our customer base. And that's the biggest lever on scale. It's not the cost side or something like this. Obviously, we need to have all the time positive unit economics, but the biggest expansion level can we achieve when we can grow with our customer base, when we can say, okay, we offer now, even though for your colleagues in the Netherlands, the same offer, and we know they need it based on your feedback. Okay, you have already trust, sales cycle is short, you have already predictable revenue. We've heard from you and 10 other customers of ours, you need this feature, we can do that by charging X. Okay, let's do it. And then you can grow with this expansion. So therefore, it's very important to be so close with your customers to understand what they need, to have a second, a third channel, a second or third product, to grow even to a second or third ICP, probably enterprise, up market, down market, all the stuff. So that's the way how you can go to a scalable stage, that you can really attract the whole market, and therefore it's a transition stage. So once you have this, you have platform market fit, so because you can, let's say, sell in a repeatable and predictable way at least two products in two markets. Now you want to scale and you want to execute and just want to take the money and grow up to the sky. What is still missing? Probably, and most of the time, your go-to-market engine is not ready, not finally ready, and not by 100%. But your product and your offer is it. So therefore, in this stage, you have to evolve and develop your go-to-market engine again, that you are ready to keep the speed up. So therefore, execution is where companies achieve true scalability. And here the focus on hyper relevant accounts and expanding your existing customer base is very, very important. At this stage, you're segmenting customers. You are prioritizing different journeys for different cohorts and operating a robust revenue operations. Most startups don't reach this stage, either because they jump too quickly trying to expand across products and markets before their go-to-market readiness, or because they don't focus deeply enough on their ICP. So recognizing when to continue building on product market fit or when to create a solid single product business can be the difference between success and failure. That means, just to give you a clear example here, there are businesses that will never reach this stage because they will not being able to expand with their customers, because they're just a single product business that is solid, but nobody wants to grow with this business, as probably the lever is not big enough. That's fine. Once you have product market fit and you can't achieve platform market fit, build a cash cow business forever. That's even though cool. And even though you want to build platform market fit, and probably you have even though a business model that can achieve this, don't go too fast in a direction of multiple channels, multiple markets, multiple products, multiple team setups. If you do it too fast, you will fail, as the readiness of your go-to-market engine is not on the point of being scalable. All right. So that was the go-to-market maturity stage. Once you have any questions, put it in the comments or ping us on LinkedIn. We try to answer it. Let's dive now in the self-assessment audit. So now, how do we know which stage we are in? That's the main question of this audit, and it's very, very important to know it before we invest time in our strategy. So that means this is where the self-assessment audit comes in. With the maturity curve as our guide, we ask ourselves one top-level question. For how many products does the business have a repeatable, scalable revenue channel? If you have 0, you're in ideation. If you have 1, you're in transition. If you have multiple, you're in execution. So that's super easy. That's just the top level, go-to-market level of the offer, of the offerings of your business. That doesn't mean that your go-to-market engine has the same level of maturity grade that your offer or your business has. So therefore, once we determine the stage, we need to evaluate how prepared the go-to-market engine is for this level. So therefore, we will assess areas like the market focus. In ideation stage, you have a broad total addressable market. Then in the transition stage, you focus on ICP with clear intent signals. And execution, it's customer cohorts. There's even something we can understand very easily with this question. So let's say, just to give you an example, how to use it really in practice. You say, yeah, we have one channel that is repeatable. We can grow with it. So definitely we are on product market fit. And we focus on customer cohorts. Okay, customer cohorts is execution. So you are too far, you are too narrow down. Why are you doing this? So probably there's a good reason. I don't say by 100% that's wrong. But in 80%, it's definitely not the right way because you are not ready enough by business perspective to go on customer cohorts because probably not big enough, or you don't have different offerings for different cohorts. So why do you build cohorts? So you can build one customer journey, because with customer cohorts, you will have different customer journeys. That means more complexity in your operations. That means more effort and less efficiency for your whole go-to-market engine. So that's the market focus. Then we have the operations. So that's from ad hoc to data-driven revenue operations. So that's very important that you have even there the whole line. Obviously, in the first days, you just react on very ad hoc on requests from your customers, and that's totally fine. In the future, you want to be very aligned, and at the last step, you want to have revenue operations that tells you already, hey, we have to do this, and this will happen, and all this stuff. So then the expansion capabilities. So how do you want to expand? Or can you expand? In ideation, we have one channel. Then we try to go up to multiple channels, at least 2 in the transition stage. And last but not least, in execution, we want to cover all relevant channels where we can expand. And when we think about new customer, hopefully then we will have outbound and inbound and partner and whatever is relevant. But especially the retention and upselling, cross-selling opportunities are more relevant now. Then from the growth approach perspective, growth in the ideation stage, there we are super reactive, right? So there are opportunities. If there's an opportunity, I jump on it. When you have enough data and you have a clear focus on your ICP and the total relevant market, and you know how to find this ICP and to attract it, you go on the proactive side. I know I need 10 more clients. I know what I have to put in to get it. Let's do it. And last but not least, prioritize growth investment. So that means even though in some parts of the business the numbers goes down, you prioritize growth investment as you say, okay, it's not relevant anymore because we just want to grow on this customer segment or just in this customer cohort, and it's totally fine when this customer cohort goes down. That's different than the first level in ideation. You don't want to decrease the revenue line, so therefore you always think about growth. And reactive means here, damn, this month we don't have enough customers, so we need to call 5 times more, even though without knowing if this will really bring you the impact and the outcome you're looking for. Next point, the team focus. In the ideation stage, as we've named it already, we are totally focused on leads. So we try to come in contact with a single person, to have a conversation with him or her to understand if this problem is so relevant that he or she would pay money for it. Later on, once we have product market fit, we go in a transition stage. We want to use this person and try to figure out who is the right contact and buyer person in your business to lever the whole account. That's account-based selling, account-based marketing, all the stuff from the stage on. And then in the last point or the last stage of execution, we focus on our customers, not just on the accounts, because new customers with very targeted and relevant accounts is still relevant, but we focus on growing by our customer base. So last point, we have different metrics we should look at for different stages to measure performance and efficiency and all the stuff. So in the ideation stage, we are focusing on KPIs or metrics by function. Then in the second stage in transition, we are focusing on KPIs and metrics by account segment. And last but not least, in the last stage, we're focusing on the customer cohort metrics. All right. In the comments, you'll find the link to this self-service, self-assessment that you can do it on your own. You can just go through it, and at the end, you see in what stage are you overall, and for different parts of your go-to-market engine, in what field are you already totally aligned with the overall maturity stage? In what parts do you have to develop? And in what parts have you already two major system, what is probably even though not good for your growth? And this is the part of or the basement for your go-to-market strategy. And this is something for our next episode. So next episode, I will introduce our go-to-market strategy framework. So we will take a practical example out of the assessment and how to bring this now in or to use it in the strategy framework. So I will tell you in general how to use this framework, and then in a practical example, how can you deal with it? And then hopefully afterwards you can do it on your own. If you have any questions, ping us in the comments, like it, DM, whatever you need. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.